Hello and welcome back to OmniFoot TV. This is your host Omar speaking, and today, this is long overdue, but I am going to preview the Group of Death. So, let's get this started, shall we? We have a very interesting group with reigning champions Portugal, current world champions France. It's kind of weird how that turned out. Germany, who are also formerly two-time winners. Them and the French have won the tournament 2 times each. Them lot. And Hungary. Now, despite what you may think, as comparatively weak a side as Hungary is, they've actually played a very influential role on the tactical evolution of football. So for that, they should at least be given a lot more credit. Now, history aside, I'm going to start with Hungary. This is a solid team in regards to, or in comparison to, the team that came before it. Marco Rose has set up this side in a very, I say, disciplined manner. They have a good crop of players. Their key player, in my opinion, would be Adam Zalai. He is currently the captain. Although he's been misfiring this season at Mainz. He didn't do all that well. He scored 4 goals in 20 appearances. At 31, I would have expected better. I thought he would actually have done a lot better this season, but I don't think that'll matter as soon as the whistle blows. Now, here's the thing. Hungary have finished 3rd at Euro 64. That was their best finish. And if you don't know this, they also reached a World Cup final once before. I could easily say that this team could finish 4th. But I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do believe that if they remain as organized as they've been, they qualify to this tournament via the Nations League. They qualified to Group A of the Nations League. You know, they have League B, League A, League C. They qualified to League A, which was quite an improvement. They didn't make it to the World Cup. And I think that they've gained more relevance than they've had in a very long time. This is their 2nd Euro on the trot. All eyes were on them last time around. They were in Portugal's group. They played out that amazing 3-3 draw. And although they don't have Barazutak, who was quite honestly my favorite player for Hungary, he was brilliant for PSV back in the day. I'm not necessarily sure if he's retired. I think he's retired now. I could check to confirm that. But like I said, they have good wide men. They have good midfielders who could slot in, try and find some space to make chances up front. I've watched them slightly, I've done my best to watch as many highlights as possible. Excuse me for the vocabulary errors. And they've actually been more surprising in a positive light. Now, I'm kind of stuck up on names. Mainly because I was focusing on how well Adam would do. Because he was the only notable player in the team from my perspective, because I had known of him before. Apart from Zabalai, who is currently injured and will not actually make the tournament. So I guess all I can say is that we have to move on to Portugal. Now, the thing about Portugal is that I really couldn't celebrate their Euro win that much. They had an absolutely horrible tournament. They had an underwhelming tournament by every stretch of the imagination. They didn't win a single game in the group, finished 3rd, could have easily been knocked out if not for that new rule of the best 3rd place team. And it's like, I don't know. They couldn't win a single game in normal time until the semifinals. I think it was against Wales. Yes, it was against Wales. I really don't know. I don't know. This team is a big question mark. They're not necessarily that good on the ball. Fernando Santos is extremely defensive, but his defensive nature doesn't mean that they don't do well in attack. I mean, they thrashed Israel a couple of days ago. I mean, it was Israel. But it's a statement of intent. You'd expect them to do that well. Now, Portugal have brilliant depth in their squad. They have a wealth of players in defense, in midfield, and in attack. They have a great goalkeeper. And it's weird when you think of this team with all these names on paper and not compare it to France. Because here's the thing. Cristiano Ronaldo actually has a supporting cast, so to speak. He didn't have that in previous tournaments. And he's currently getting on, age-wise. We've reached a point where Portugal have all these names. Dias, João Felix, Pepe, Fonte, despite their age. Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves. Neves is actually one of my favorite players. And I just can't discount this side. I really can't. It's just they may not be as slick on the ball as they should be, but they grind out results. And I'd say that if they do well in this tournament, you could easily give them a shout at the World Cup next year. It's weird. That's extremely weird. I've never ever said that before. The World Cup is in a year, and we're currently watching the Euros. Time flies. Hopefully the tournament won't be cancelled or suspended. Or postponed. Anyways, over to the French. Wow. Okay. 2-time winners, France. Once in 84, once in 2000. They have the best squad of any team in this tournament. A manager who isn't as tactically bright. Key players in every area of the pitch. Benzema is back in the fold, who I think is going to be their fulcrum. As soon as Benzema was playing against Bulgaria, before he got injured, the French were linking up brilliantly. I don't think I've ever seen them play with such a telepathy about them. Benzema is just leaps and bounds ahead of any other number 9. And as much as I love Giroud, I hope Benzema starts the next game. Either way, if he doesn't, I would imagine that Giroud would do well because it's Olivier Giroud. The man just shows up. Now, here's my gripe with Deschamps. After winning the World Cup as player and manager, he is now shortlisted as a record breaker alongside Franz Beckenbauer and Mario Zagallo. The only players to have ever won the World Cup as managers as well. And if he wins this Euro, he'll be one of 2 to have ever won it as player and manager. As far as I know. Euro and World Cup. It's just... I don't see him having reached... I don't think he deserves that. You know? I don't think that he's the kind of manager to warrant the kind of value that comes with winning that trophy. But, you know, it could easily prove me wrong. I mean, he did in the last tournament, and it was horrible to see because they just played... They played out most of their games without much of a tactical approach. I didn't understand what they were doing half the time. I couldn't see what shape they were trying to maintain. They were playing a very 19th century brand of counter-attacking football. That's how I described it when I really started to pay attention to them in the World Cup. Now, a lot of people thought they would win it, and with that group of players, you'd have to think they would win it. Deschamps is a very good man manager. That's the only thing. French managers are very good man managers. The only manager who I've seen who's been tactically astute and capable in France is Christophe Galtier. Zidane just, I think Real Madrid fans could do much better to sum up how he's been tactically. You know? How he set Madrid up tactically. Tactically being the key word. Or lack thereof. Same goes for Deschamps. I just can't rate the man as a tactician. Now, France could go far if he gets his, if he gets this together. I have to watch my tongue for monetization purposes. And I think they will go far. They have to. It would be a crime against football for this team to fall during group stages. And on from the French, we have the Germans. Germany have been the biggest mixed bag of any team to have qualified to this tournament, bar none. Jogi Löw has been manager for 15 long years now. He's managed some of the worst results in the DFB's history. That 6-1 or 6-0 loss to Spain. The relegation from League A and the Nations League. He's played. He's actually brought in multiple players throughout the past 2 years. Multiple players who've interchanged one between and the other. He didn't really stick to a starting squad or a starting 11. I'm not going to say starting squad, but yeah, I would say starting squad because he really just interchanged a lot. He experimented a ton. And I don't know if that worked out positively or negatively. I think we'll find out when this tournament kicks off. They beat Latvia 7-0 earlier this week. Last week. You'd expect them to. But at the same time, you can't really predict what they're going to do. They're not a team that I would necessarily call solid. Now, they do have Champions League winners Kai Havertz and Timo Werner up front. And I think that'll give them an edge. As much as Werner makes me want to pull my hair out. Hopefully he doesn't snuff these kinds of chances at the tournament, because Lord knows they're going to butcher him if he does. Now, Germany have 3 Euros to their name. And I could easily just make sure. Trophies. I have to check this out because I really don't want to. Yep. 3 wins. 72, 80, and 96. I was kind of worried about the whole 1980 thing. Got it right. They are arguably the most coveted side in this tournament. They have the most history in it. And I genuinely don't see them making it past the group stages. I just don't. I wish I did. But you have to give them the benefit of the doubt anyway. I wouldn't say that Jogi Löw is going to go out on a high. But he'll go out fighting. This team genuinely needs a reshape. And as soon as Hansi Flick takes over, I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see some major changes. I do, however, agree with Löw finally bringing back Thomas Müller and Mats Hummels. Now, I don't necessarily agree with his man management because he's been the kind of manager to literally dismiss players without rhyme or reason. Meaning that as soon as Müller finished playing for Germany in the last World Cup, he'd literally go out and say this player will not play for the national side ever again. No farewell, no nothing. He did the exact same... No, double negative. He did the exact same thing with Michael Ballack, which was shocking. The man just doesn't... I don't know if he doesn't know how to compromise or if he doesn't communicate that well. It's impossible for me to believe that he doesn't communicate that well since he's actually won a World Cup. But, I'll just put that aside for now. Let's just see how this tournament goes. I think we'll be able to tell a lot of things by the time Germany finish their first game. We'll have a lot of questions answered. Now, in regards to my predictions, hopefully I've done well to just provide context for all this. In regards to my predictions, I would say France in first, because why the hell not? Portugal in second, Germany in third, and Hungary in fourth. That would be the obvious prediction to go with on paper. But you know what? I'd really like Hungary to finish third, but I don't imagine Germany is going to finish fourth. So let's see how this goes. And that, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else is watching, aliens, this is my preview for Group F, and these are my predictions. You can crucify me for them if I'm wrong after the tournament, or no, just after the group stage matches. In between that break from the knockout stages and the group stages. Yeah, you just come back, take the part of this video, report it or something, I don't know. That's it. And that is it for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope this has been as equally as informative as entertaining. I try to do my best sometimes, despite being a little awkward. The links to our social media accounts are in the description below. Please follow us if you enjoy our content. If you enjoy this video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, the comments section below. Let there be discourse. Let me know what you think. You know, toss Rotten Tomatoes. Do whatever. And today is probably going to be another double upload day because I'm going to be reacting to the games ahead. We have England and Croatia today. And news is, the Southgate isn't even going to play Grealish in the starting 11. He's going to start with Sterling. That man just loves to make us all feel like crap, doesn't he? Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. And, keep up with us if you enjoy our content. Cheers, everyone.